a motion to what?
I'm making a motion to add to the resolution denouncing COVID-19 related hate speech and bias crimes, whereas the Township of Edison is home to thousands of residents of Asian and Jewish heritage, whereas the richness of Edison Township is enhanced by the diversity of our population, whereas during the COVID-19 pandemic, there have been reports of bias crimes against residents of Asian and Jewish heritage, including, without limited, an incident on April 4th, 2020, where a 55-year-old Asian woman was a victim, was surrounded by a group of individuals who allegedly yelled racial slurs regarding the origins of the coronavirus at the victim and punched her in the back of the head. Whereas recent social media posts targeting Asian Jewish communities have appeared on social media accounts of elected officials, and said posts have exaggerated the fears of biased crimes against residents of Asian and Jewish heritage. Whereas in the interest of Edison Municipal Council, it sends a clear message that targeting of any individual based on their race, gender, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or gender identity will be condemned and not be tolerated by the residents of Edison Township. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Municipal Council of the Township of Edison, Middlesex County, New Jersey, as follows. 1, Township of Edison hereby denounces all instances of COVID-19 related discrimination, violent, and hate speech. 2, the Township of Edison encourages the reporting of bias crimes and encourages the Middlesex County's prosecutor's office to investigate and prosecute bias crimes. 3, that a copy of the resolution be delivered to the clerk of the Township of Edison, and 4, that this resolution shall take effect immediately. And I'm proposing this gets added to our agenda.
Council President, Council, I got a question. To Councilman Brescher,
can you just hold off 1 second? We'll have a discussion. First,
sure.
let's see if there's a second for that resolution. If there is, then that would be the appropriate time for any discussion on the resolution. Thanks. Sorry.
Second, Council. Councilman Coyle seconded. Councilman Coyle seconded? Okay. And this is to add to the... This is to add, that's just to add a resolution to the agenda. Okay, I'm going to roll call. Okay, roll call. Councilmember Brescher?
Wait, no. You have a motion and a second. Now's the time for a discussion as to whether you're going to support or not support adding it to the agenda.
Yeah.
That's the process. And I cut Councilman Joshi off because I wanted to just make sure it was properly, that we had a second. So now I would suggest that the debate, if any, as to whether to add this, the appropriate time for that would be now. Again, sorry for the interruption.
No problem. Thanks. Council President, this is Councilman Joshi. I had a question. From my understanding, and I could be wrong, but this language that was just read by Councilman Brescher was not the exact copy that we got in our email, was it?
No, not that I got.
Councilman Brescher, is there a copy that I think what you read is separate from what was sent to us?
Let me just check. Yeah, I'm not working with the hard copy. I'm working with this laptop here. Let me just do a quick search here.
would you like to table this for another time, Councilman? Would you like to table this for another time, Councilman Brescher? We can get it together.
Well,
I mean, table it. Can we not even add it? Can we wait till we get it all together?
Well, Councilman Joshi, let me ask you a question. What part is different?
Looking at the email that's received on May 11th, 7/27 from us from the township clerk, and you were part of that forward as well. That resolution is separate from what you have just read.
Okay. You know what section of that is? Because I got both of them opened up here. Okay. All right. Let me read. I'll can I make a motion to read that one?
No, well, my question was, one, if it's different, because if it is different, which it appears to be, I'm looking at the email right now, then we don't have the actual version. So I would ask you to just table it because I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, you know what, I think I can live with the first one, the one that you do have.
I don't mind the one that you're reading right now, but I would like to have it in front of me before I vote on it, and that's my issue.
Is there a problem with the one that you do have?
Yes, I don't support that language.
Okay. And I'm trying to see which one here.
If you would like, I would, like I said, what you've read is separate from the email that we got, and the language that I would prefer to have is what was sent to me, and I believe a lot of us council members were CC'd on it. It was the same resolution that San Antonio, Texas had passed against all hate in general. That I can support. I'd be happy to work on that with you at another time, but given that this is two separate issues, and at this point I wouldn't even know what I'm voting on.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. The one that you have, what objections do you have to that one?
I disagree with it. I don't want to get into that.
Okay. You know, it is, like, I'm looking at it, and I don't know, you know what line is different?
Paragraph 4.
Which one?
I believe it was paragraph 4. Yeah.
I don't know, I'm looking at the same thing that I just read.
Well, and I disagree with it.
That's the email I sent on May 11th at 7:07 to the clerk seems to be exactly what I just read. I don't see what I'm missing on this. It looks like it's word for word. I don't know how something else could have been sent to you that's different than what I just read. Is any of my other council colleagues, do you find anything different between what was sent to you and what I read?
Perhaps he has to read the one he has.
Alright, here, we all excuse me, are we gonna, is this gonna move to table, or, you know, are we gonna move the table and so we can get it all together?
I don't.
Council President, we still haven't even put it on the agenda.
Okay,
So
okay.
After the discussion, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's right, you got it, added, it hasn't even been added to the agenda. Oh, okay, alright.
No, there's still, I mean, the question is are there opinions, you know, in favor or against, and then that would inform council's consideration of whether to even add it to the agenda. Not that you could, you could certainly vote in favor to add it and vote against it to adopt it, but that's, that's the point that's going on. So once there's no more debate over whether to add it, there'll be a vote to add it, and then if it's added and somebody wants to pull it and have a separate discussion, we can go through that again as well. So
Okay,
that's
so
where
can
we're
I
at
have
right now.
a motion? So I make a motion. So can I have a motion? We had a motion to add it. We had a motion to add it and a second. So we can now.
Council President, I have a question for the attorney.
Okay, I got a client attorney. Okay, go ahead.
He has a copy of what I sent. I don't see a difference in what I sent and what I just read. And I'm looking at the two of them here. So I have the email that I opened up, and it does seem, I don't know, word for word. So I'm asking you to look at it. Councilman Joshi said that they were different, what I read from what is here.
Okay, Councilman, I can certainly, if I have two documents, I can black line one against the other, but I would have to play the tape back to hear what you said and compare that to what is,
Would it make it easier
what's in the email?
Document? If you had the document and would it make it easier if you have the document, I just read what I just read? So even you can read along?
That's what you want to do. Let me try and pull that document up. I thought Councilman Joshi identified what his issue was. It's Councilman, do you know exactly what language is missing or added that you object to, or?
Councilman Brescher, could you read your paragraph 4?
Paragraph 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whereas social media posts, that one?
Yeah.
Okay, whereas social media posts targeting Asian and Jewish communities have appeared on social media accounts of elected officials, that posts have exacerbated the fear and bias crimes against residents of Asian and Jewish heritage.
Okay. So I did not hear that part before, but I know how I'll vote now.
Okay, you just didn't hear me read that part before.
Correct.
Okay.
Councilman Brescher, Councilman Diehl.
Yes, sir.
Is that first sentence related to any particular person on the council?
When this kind of came to me really with that first incident that we had back in April. That's what kind of brought this, to my attention. And then, with all the things that have been going on, I just felt that something needed to be said, and, we really shouldn't accept this hearing of this.
Councilman Brescher, I agree with the spirit of the resolution. I truly do. But if there's some other motive for putting a paragraph like that in, if that's to disparage anyone, any colleague or anyone, if there's another motive for that particular phrase, I can't vote for that phrase. I'll go with the resolution. I like the spirit of it, but I don't know. I don't understand that phrase. And you just didn't explain it well.
Okay, so you like that one about elected officials removed?
I want to to be honest with you. Councilman Joshi offered to work with you on this resolution. I think that you ought to take his offer. I think we ought to look at this. I totally agree with the spirit of the resolution, but I want it to be a clean resolution and not have an ulterior motive to it.
Okay, I'd like to just, I can say that there were comments that were made by elected officials that I felt were inappropriate. Now, we did hear this, or I don't know if we heard it, but I heard rumors of maybe attack, but if attack is the simple thing of the police department, I'm sure our chief could get to the bottom of that within hours. So, you know, if those things were taken care of, put in the bed.
Brescher, I thought we could have...
Councilman Diehl,
I thought we could have gotten to the bottom of the racist flyer in hours. So right now, if it's a resolution with the spirit, anti-prejudice, anti-racism, I am totally in. If there's an ulterior motive, I am totally out.
Oh, there's not an ulterior motive. It comes to those two recent events, the one in April, where a woman was attacked, and then things that were put on Facebook that are inappropriate.
Who are you referring to?
It would be the posts that were on our council president's Facebook.
Okay, see, I'm not going there. I heard Council President's remarks tonight. We're not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. I wholly support anti-racism, anti-COVID prejudice. I wholly support that. But if you're going to use this to disparage the Council President, I'm not in.
Councilman Diehl, it wasn't you're the one that asked me what it was about. I told you the two incidences.
And then I
understand.
understand.
Councilman Diehl, it is my turn to speak, sir. Sir, I am speaking. Please mind yourself while I'm speaking. It was my turn to speak. It's very simple. If you can't control yourself, I'm just asking you to please control yourself. And I understand you're frustrated because the meeting happens to be a little longer than usual. So what I'm saying...
That's not it at all. Don't say that.
Councilman Diehl, I am still speaking.
You did this, and you were reluctant to fess up, and you finally fessed up, and now I know why you're...
Councilman Diehl, again, Robert's rules. With how many years you've been on the council, I would have thought that you would know what they are. And when someone's talking... It's not only rude, but it's impractical for you to keep on speaking over someone. When I'm done speaking, it would be your turn. And I don't have a problem with that. So what I'm saying is, I seen the post. I felt the post was inappropriate. Okay? And then I heard there was an apology, and I read an apology. And then the apology was removed, and I heard that the account was hacked. Now, we can go to our chief of police, who's online here, and he can tell us how quickly he could determine if an account was hacked or not. Can I get comment from our chief on that? Hello? Hello?
Can we move on? What's he expecting?
I didn't hear the chief's response.
Well, then evidently there's no response. Can we move on? What did he say?
The chief's not at a meeting?
I don't know, but as discussed earlier, Mr. Brescher, wait till after the meeting and then you can continue to attack me. There's no answer right now.
There's no attack on you, Council President.
You have been since day one.
What's that?
Since day one.
I really have no idea what you're actually talking about. I asked the question of the chief, and I believe I deserve an answer. Would our chief of police be on the line?
He's not on the line. He's not answering. Could you please move on so we can move on? Can we get a vote on on this? Can we get a vote on this now?
Can through the administration, can we make sure that, like our chief of police and the head of our departments are at our meetings from now on?
Yes, Councilman Brescher, I thought Chief Ryan was on the call.
They were there, but it's been over 3 hours.
So is he on the line or he's not on the line?
I don't. He was when they took roll call, but it's been 3 hours. I thought it would be wrapped up by now. I just would like to move forward with the vote because because we can end at 10 o'clock actually, and I don't want to end before I read all the public submissions. And I have a pile of about 20 or so. And so I want to get the people that we're concerned about in Edison, I want them to be able to speak publicly through these papers, but if not, they won't be able to because we'll end at 10 and we won't be able to read all of them. That's the only reason why I want to move forward.
Well, I understand that. Then it would be the administration's job to find the chief. I'm sure our business administrator has his cell number and can, please, Council President, I'm sure our business administrator has his phone number and can call him and ask him to please return to the line. I don't think I'm asking too much.
Excuse me. Selectively, do you want the public involved or you don't want the public involved? Because if you continue on with this direction you're going in, the public will not have a chance because it's almost 9 o'clock now. All right?
I will make a motion at that time to continue the meeting if necessary.
But we don't have to continue the meeting past 10. You remember you read the council rules? We don't have to go on past 10. So if we don't go on past 10...
Council President, are you sitting in the room with the chief and the business administrator and the clerk? And have you instructed, because I believe you're at the town hall, and if you are, can you ask the chief to please get on the line?
I have no one in the room with me other than the clerks. Other than the clerk and the deputy clerk at this particular time. What I am trying to stress to you is I would like to have the public involved in our meeting, and right now we're a couple of minutes before 9 o'clock, and then when 10 o'clock comes, that will be the end of the meeting, because if you read the council information and stuff, the meetings can end at 10 o'clock. So should we tell the public people that you're very, very concerned about, should we tell them that Richard doesn't have any public input, so he's going to hold this meeting up for another 5 to 10 to 15, I don't know how many minutes.
Council President, this is, and Councilman, this is Councilman Joshi. I'd like to make a motion to call to question, which I believe supersedes other motions.
Excuse me? Yes, somebody make a motion for a vote for it to be at, okay, somebody please make a motion.
Well, I believe, Council, when I...
There is a motion.
The motion to call to question is to end the debate, and I believe that supersedes any other motions per parliamentary procedure.
Can I before we go there, can I suggest something? The reality is here, and if I'm wrong, you can tell me, but the reality is there are some of you who agree with, you all seem to agree, as I think we all agree, that, racism is a bad thing. There's some disagreement over one provision. And I understand Councilman Brescher's point. I think he wants the Chief to answer a question. The Chief's not available. When he drops off, I don't know. Okay, all right. Okay, Chief. The question that was posed is, can you figure out whether a Facebook account is hacked? That's Councilman Brescher. Do I have that question correctly?
That's correct.
Okay.
In my professional experience, that would be left up to, in any time that this came up in the past for any investigation, that was left up to the IT professionals, actually from another agency. So I couldn't directly answer that question, yes or no, at this juncture.
Okay, so then if I could, thanks, Chief, but if I could just suggest, I mean, really it comes down to there are some who support and some who don't support, obviously, this resolution. So, I mean, the best way to, and maybe this goes directly to what Councilman Joshi was just suggesting, unless there's further debate over the merits or lack of merit to the resolution, we should just proceed to a vote as to whether to add it to the agenda. That answers the question. I mean, certainly, you have a right to debate it, but it seems like that's the question that needs to be addressed, and it seems to me we can address it by just having the vote. But I'll go back on mute, and you can figure out what you want to do.
That sounds fair.
Councilman Brescher, I understand your point of your resolution. Would you be open, in Councilman Joshi, in the spirit of Bob Diehl and probably several council people, to move forward on the issue of doing something today? Would you be open to just removing that paragraph 4, and we can pass this resolution without paragraph 4? And then
what? Well, because I do find that if those posts were posts, I do find those posts to be inappropriate. I mean, that's just plain and simple. And I think it has to be acknowledged. And if what I'm really asking is if it was hacked, then being that our council president would be under attack, or the chief of our police or whoever his IT people that he's talking about they should have been investigating this a couple of days ago when this first came up. So because it's not being investigated, then I think I'd like to have it on the resolution.
Council President Bob Diehl.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. It seems to me that everyone agrees with the spirit of the resolution, with the exception of paragraph 4, that seems to be in a different direction. I'll ask our councilor this, can I move that we add the resolution without paragraph 4? Can I make a motion to do that?
Resolution, let me see.
Councilman, I think what should be done is we should vote on the resolution as it's been offered, unless Councilman Brescher, who offered the resolution, is willing to agree to that amendment. We have a motion and a second, so I think that motion should be voted on. If you can then make a subsequent motion to amend that resolution to make that change, and that would be a separate vote if it was added to the agenda. If it's not added to the agenda, you can make a motion to add it to the agenda with that amendment, or you can do it.
So one way or the other, it's going to be a motion to amend this and take out paragraph 4. So, Councilman Brescher, I'll put it in your court.
I understand what Bill's saying, and I get it. I mean, I guess we can take a quick vote now, and then we can put it up in the amended version if it doesn't pass. And I guess procedurally that's correct.
No, I'm not quite understanding. Are you saying you're willing to take out paragraph 4 and we can vote on to add it right now, or do we add it and then I make a motion to amend it and take out paragraph 4 2 minutes from now?
Yeah, that's what Councilman Brescher just recommended.
He's the council, yes.
Well, initially that's your call, Councilman Brescher, as to how to do it, but I think Councilman Diehl got the procedure right, which would be you make a motion. Just let's clarify one point. If the motion fails, there is no resolution on the agenda. So then that would be in your discretion, Councilman Diehl, whether to make a second motion to re-add this with paragraph 4 amended, or to just continue along the line Councilman Joshi suggested, which would be just a further discussion and put it on at some later time. but that's entirely at council's discretion.
No, I think we're all in agreement that we agree with the spirit of it. Okay, but I do have a problem with putting in something else under the guise of anti-racism. I'm gonna do an anti-racism resolution and then put something else in there that may be related but is targeted towards somebody which is could be racist itself. I mean, what are you doing? I'll go to add it, but I am going to make a motion to amend it. Thank you.
I would like a clean copy. I would like to be inclusive of all people, not that's how I feel about it. That's why I work the Human Relations Commission, because I want to be inclusive of all people. Other people will think that we're only biased against certain groups and different people. The spirit of me, being growing up during the civil rights and all that, the spirit of me says we should include everyone, every faith, every ethnicity, and everyone should be included within any type of motion that we make toward that way. Because if not, it will come off as, some people in my community will think it comes off as racist to me. This is how I feel about it. And women will think that it's biased towards them. That's why I would like Councilman Sam Joshi, and I would like Councilman Richard Brescher to work on a clean one like they have in other states, like they have in San Antonio. I would like them to work on a nice clean one, because I think the whole town, women and everybody should be included in it. That's just how I feel about it.
I agree with that, Council President. I like that idea. Let's get a clean version.
Yes,
Yeah.
Sorry, Council President, at this point, I did replay the tape, and there were two different versions, as far as I know. And I would rather, if the spirit is to denounce all discrimination, I'm 100% in support of that. And I think that I echo the sentiments of Councilman Diehl on that. But the language is not clear, and I do have one that was sent to me by many residents referring to the San Antonio, Texas resolution. I will commit 100% to support that. But as it stands right now, the reality is that we don't know what we're voting on. And that's why, I don't support this language as it is. I'll support what San Antonio, Texas did. I think they did it right, and there was no political agenda behind it.
Thank you very much.
If there's no further debate, then the clerk should call the roll, and a yes vote adds the resolution as it currently stands, as it was read by Councilman Brescher, and a no vote will reject and will not add the resolution to council agenda.
Councilor, second, just because I don't want to interrupt the roll call, I wholeheartedly believe in the spirit of it, but I'm in agreement. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. Let's put it forward. Let's get everybody that wants to move this forward to work together. So let's work on a clean copy. So thank you, Council President. I'm sorry. I just didn't want to interrupt the roll call. Thank you.
Councilman Brescher.
We're ready for a vote? A roll call?
Councilman Brescher, I think we're at a sound point to consider tabling this. Is that something you'll consider?
Well, put it this way. From what I believe our council had said was the motion was made, so we vote on it. Very similar to probably the military ordinance that we did. It looks like it probably won't pass, but then we'll work on something that will pass and, will be palatable to a majority of the council.
All right, roll call. As is.
is to vote on whether it's going to be added to the agenda. Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Diehl.
No to add as is.
Councilmember Gomez.
No to add as is.
Councilmember Joshi.
No to add as is.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Council President Ship-Freeman.
No to add as is. All right, so now we can go on to,
It's not added to the agenda.
okay, so now we can go on to, anyone has anything they would like to pull for separate?
Yes, Council President.
Yes.
Councilman Joshi, I'd like to pull Resolution 252 for a separate vote.